Right now, I'm just going to pass the time to Jimmy, who is the webmaster at Protocol Labs, who will actually introduce Estuary to you. He will cover quickly on, why Estuary is actually being created, and understanding the mechanics behind it, and also how you can actually utilize it. So, Jimmy, you're up next.
So I have some slides for you. Thank you so much for having me. I work on a team at Protocol Labs that's trying to make Filecoin usable. It's actually, we're getting closer and closer day by day, working with storage providers around the world. There's a lot of people providing storage, and what IPFS and Filecoin actually are very similar. So I'm excited to show you this node that we've designed at the ARG. You can see the link below if you want to learn more about our group. And this node will allow you to easily store data to Filecoin. So Filecoin is actually like an estuary, like IPFS node is actually very complicated. There's a lot of things that go into an IPFS node, and there's a lot of things that go into running one and being a network operator. And so you can go through and you can look at the open source code and you can kind of see a ton of dependencies. And for a developer who just wants to build an app or build a tool, the kind of experience that you really want is something like this. So you just kind of want to be able to upload files without having to look at all of those dependencies and get to the point, right? So another thing that separates what, if you're just using an IPFS node is when you upload data to Filecoin, you actually can see which storage providers it's on, and you can see, like the proposal receipts. So for how long that deal is going to be on chain. And so this kind of adds like a little bit more resiliency to your NFTs, for example, because if you have a IPFS pin, that IPFS pin is only as resilient as the IPFS node that's holding it. And if it's not pinned, when the IPFS node restarts, it gets garbage collected. In this case, if it's on Filecoin, what happens is if you pin something and that pin is somehow lost, it can go to Filecoin and retrieve that pin, that CID, and restore it. So none of your users who are having or minting NFTs will ever lose their assets. And that's important because I think people start to care about where it's stored. They want to make sure it's in every country, and et cetera. And so what's the point of today's presentation? I'm going to show you a estuary node that you can use. And basically, if you have valuable data and you want to make your data available to the world, make sure it's archived and retrievable from anywhere, and you need a simple tool to upload that data. And if you need proof that data exists, this is a presentation for you. And so if you're building something that allows you to mint NFTs really easily and you want to make sure that data is stored off-chain and decentralized, we're going to provide you an API that you can use. And Estuary essentially makes uploading that data, replicating data around the world, like a 5-minute problem. You can log in, upload the file, retrieve the pinned CID from any IPFS gateway. You can use the inferior one that was shown earlier, or you can use one of ours. And you can trust that we're going to get that file stored on at least 6 storage providers. And then, you have 3 different options. So you can upload it from a GUI. You can upload a CID directly, so you can maintain the Unix FS structure, or you can upload a CAR file, which is a popular choice for people who are developing with Filecoin. And so let's just do a 1,000-foot view before I get into showing you the product and all the code. Let's say we have this world right here, and this is like really hastily done, so I'm really sorry, but these are like Filecoin storage providers that expose peer IDs. It's like a Filecoin storage network, right? And you have these new estuary nodes. They are IPFS nodes, so they know of each other, and people are uploading data to them. And after that, they're making storage deals against all of these providers. And you can see that this is kind of the beginning of a global network of all the data that you could possibly upload. And so, you can imagine this is how things look for NFTs. You can imagine this for like public data, and this is kind of our broader vision for how everything comes together. And so our estuary node, the one that we're running for everyone to use, actually has quite a bit of success. So it's done 21,000 successful storage deals. It's had over 8 million files, 51 terabytes of pinned IPFS data. So that's like data you can just retrieve from any gateway. So in the previous presentation, Jacob elegantly described how you can just look at that IPFS hash, grab that from any gateway and see it. That's our estuary node also provides 51 terabytes of that. We've put over 3 times that amount into total sealed storage and deals. So that's backed up. So in case that pin is ever lost, you can get that back. And a single user has gone and done 15 terabytes. So that's a lot of files. And we're hoping that we can get more storage providers and more users, people building platforms like Arzora, et cetera, using our tool. And so here are some charts. I know people like charts to kind of see the growth. And so a user in this case actually includes like an Internet Archive or an Arzora or Wolfram Alpha or any major player as well. So we treat them all the same. So even if you're a hobby developer, you can be a user of Estuary, or if you're a big company and you're providing platform, the Estuary API works for you too. And that's like because it's written in elegantly in Go and can handle, large scale file uploads. And we also deploy a system called shuttles, which allow you to upload from any location geographically. And so how do developers use Estuary? And so I'm going to get to the point here and show you the product. So if you're a developer today, we have a typical GitHub group. We have a lot of people from Protocol Labs contributing to it. And we have an Estuary node repo. And this one's really complicated. So if you want to run an Estuary node and you're not super experienced with running network infrastructure yourself, I would skip this. And I would go straight to Estuary Tech, which is our website. And you can kind of see, actually, I'm going to log out real quick. My bad. And you can see if you need to learn more, we have documentation that allows you to actually modify the docs in the, in the docs themselves. I think that what I want docs to become are kind of like this place where you can experiment with code while you're trying to learn how the API works. And so here we have some commands that kind of express how easy it is to use Estuary from the command line. And you can retrieve this CID from the IPS gateway. And whenever I demo this, it's never as fast as I hope. So it's kind of embarrassing. So I'm just going to leave these links up and hopefully they'll resolve a little bit later. You can see that since I've made the presentation, we've actually gone over 9 million files, 26,000 deals on chain, 200 terabytes of total sealed storage. You can see comparisons to other Web3 products. My counterpart, Alan Shaw and Ollie, have worked on like NFT storage and Web3 storage, are both like open solutions that are really awesome. We're invite only. That's why our user count's a bit lower, because we're very selective. But anyone who's participating today in this hackathon can definitely use Estuary. And we have a way basically to see all the storage providers and how well they're doing. So I think that's kind of cool. You can actually like go into the logs and see that, how the network's performing and our overall performance. But I'll get to the chase. So I'm going to log in, and you won't be able to do this, but when I give you an invite, you will be able to. And I'm just going to demonstrate uploading. So I'm going to add a file. I'm going to go into directory, and I have all these files here. I'm going to click open. Cool. So we have queued up 23 files that we want to upload to the, this IPFS network. And so I'm going to click upload all. And you can see parallel uploads happening at the same time. So we're doing, I think, around maybe 23 files. So we'll see how long it takes for one of these to finish.
Hey, Jimmy, do you think you can zoom in a little bit?
Yeah, I think I can. Sorry, my resolution is like really big on this computer. Does this help?
Yep, perfect. Thank you.
Cool. No problem. Yeah, so we'll see which one finishes. It is nice to get, like, I think a few files at the same time. Each one's about 67 megabytes. So for NFTs, that's, I think, over the size of typical NFTs. So cool. So just like the other example, we get these DWeb links back right away. And I don't know if anyone's been going on OpenSea lately, but the IPFS nodes are hammered. So we're probably not going to be able to see this for a while. Oh, so this one's right here. So almost instantly, you can see this video of this castle. And so Estuary is a really easy way to get that pin data onto IPFS. So you can, view videos pretty quickly. And after this is done, so I'm going to open up another tab here and go to the deals. Once you have done all that, you can see that it's working now and trying to upload those files individually. But for previous uploads, you can see these proposal receipts. So you ever have to prove that something's on Filecoin? I can prove that it started August 18th. I did this a while ago. Yeah, and the video is buffering because it's fresh, just off the press, right? So I think ideally IPFS gateways get a little bit faster and we make this like split second, but for now, I think this works because I think there's still like some time buffering between minting an NFT and viewing the asset. So, but ideally it's a little bit faster. But for the proposal receipts here, you can see the start end dates. You can see the piece size. You can see which provider's storing it. You can also see that this one right here is under maintenance, so it probably won't be storing any files soon. It's just kind of really cool to see where your data actually is. I think like a lot of times we build these APIs and we don't really know where things are. And I think like this is a good first step to kind of figuring that out. So yeah, like, looking at this GUI, I know people are probably wondering, well, gosh, I'm a developer. I don't really like need a GUI. I'm gonna add this into my app. And so I'm gonna show you how to do that right now. And I'm gonna show you from our docs actually how to do that. And then afterwards, I'm gonna show you from our, from an example web application, just like from scratch, we'll just store a file. So I'm gonna go to my API keys here, and this is probably gonna be a bad idea to do on screen because I probably shouldn't expose these. So I'll probably revoke them all afterwards, but come back to the documentation. So some API endpoints like this, they don't require an API key. So you can just call it, right? So if I change this right here, it's gonna break. I'll change this, it shows the value here. And if I go here to the first part of our tutorial, I can just replace this API key string here with this, and ta-da, it works. I have full access to my account on Estuary through the API. And so this is the viewer account, and you can see the default deal settings. You can see my Filecoin address and the different upload endpoints that we have. So that is neat. And after you do this, you probably want to upload your first file programmatically. So we have an example using either curl. You can do this from the command line. You can just copy and paste this curl script and replace with the API key, or you can just do it here. So I'm going to replace this with an API key. This is vanilla JavaScript. It's wrapped in a React component. I thought maybe some people will use React, but if you're not, you can just copy and paste the bits out of it. This is just an on-chain callback that happens when you're doing input change. That's the only way it really works in HTML. And then I'm going to upload a file here by clicking choose file. And let's pick a smaller, like Nature 13 again, hit open. And you can see that I am essentially live coding how to use the API within the browser. What this means for developers who want to use Estuary is that you don't actually have to npm install anything. You can just use our hosted Estuary node via api.estuary.tech, and you can use the API endpoints, and you can just upload files that way. And that's a really easy way to incorporate into your applications. It's done over HTTP, so it pretty much works in all cases. And after you finish uploading the file, I don't have like more here. I probably could like add like a finished state. You can see that it updates here as well. I can just like write like live code. It has like, it obviously wouldn't save, but you can see that it works with most things. If we go to list data, if I want to see the data I've added, so you're probably going to do two things. You're probably going to upload data, and you're probably going to list data. And you want to do some management later, of course. But from here, I can just add an API key, and I can see all the files I've added to Estuary. So I think this is really useful to integrate into anything. Like you can add this instead of, in Fura's API, you can add this directly into your NFT minting process and make sure the data is off chain, on IPFS. You get the same CID hashes here. And so these hashes are unique. What's really awesome about IPFS and content addressing is that when we hash the file, we generate a unique ID. And so that's the kind of like the file is the location. And so it's if you imagine a browser that uses IPFS instead of HTTP, and you can just navigate straight to the content, I think that's kind of like a neat idea. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So with these API endpoints, you should be able to get started. It hopefully isn't too complicated. And if you want an invite, what I recommend is you go here to our docs, and the link is right here. I'll post it in the chat as well. Just request an invite. Please read this and let me know, what you plan to use the data for. Like, we're not that great for private data right now. So you don't want to put something personal like your credit card, or you don't want to put your passport or anything like that. But if you have public data or NFT image data, you're probably going to want to you just let me know that, and I'm more than comfortable giving you an invite. Estuary is different from NFT storage in this way. So that's a common question that we get. And lucky for you, I've built a little bit of a comparison. And so right here at the very top, you can see there's NFT storage. NFT storage is actually designed by a collaborator of mine, Tara. If you like the smiley faces, huge shout out to her. She did a great job with that. You can kind of see like the comparisons of the three services here. And so they're very similar from like a developer, kind of like a developer DX kind of situation, right? But the difference is how we make Filecoin deals. So Estuary is predominantly also a Filecoin product. While it's a next generation IPFS node, an improvement on IPFS nodes in general, using the latest versions of everything. So if you're using another service, they might not have been able to upgrade because they might have scaled on an older version of IPFS. We are using the latest, and then we're also integrating a Filecoin client as well into our Estuary node. So that allows us to make Filecoin deals and complete the full story around the resilience of your data. And so Web3 storage and NFT storage actually use other deal brokers as well, like Textiles Bidbot's absolutely incredible. It's doing over 70 terabytes of storage as well. But we have our own built in entirely. So the reputation system for how well deals are made, as well as how we make storage deals, are all integrated in a single product. And we think that's like useful for people who want to run their own Estuary nodes as well, because you don't have to go down chasing all these other modules. You can just use one complete piece of software. So you can check out this on your own time. I think you'll find things that are very similar and things that are actually pretty different when you get down to this part of the page. And especially how much storage we've made and the amount of deals we've made. And I think we've actually made more deals looking at this, 26,000 deals. I think it might have increased since I've started this presentation. So cool. I think once you, and the other one loaded as well. So here's the other image from the front page. And so all of this is done through the API that you just saw. And the API is really just that simple. It's, sorry, I lost my place. It's really just plug in an API key, copy and paste it here, choose a file, upload a file, and that's it. How can I earn point here? I don't know what that means, but I don't think we have any points on this, but, oh, I see, yeah. So using Estuary means you're using Filecoin. As simple as that. So if there's any correlation between, if there's any points around using Filecoin, Estuary is probably a very easy way to use Filecoin. And to give you an example, I think you can show someone this page later on. So I think all our files finish up, which is great. Okay, I can leave this page. If you go to our front page, we'll leave, and you go to compare to cloud, and you go to, actually, sorry, wrong page. Web3 comparisons, and you go here to verify your data is actually on Filecoin. So I will give out, I'm probably backlogged about 10 invites. I'm gonna give out probably like 10 or so invites right after this presentation. So after I'm finished, you'll all get invites, and you'll be using the same infra that Arzora is using in the future and other cool services. So some other services plan to give us 1 terabyte a day, which is what we're working up towards, and be able to handle 1 terabyte of data, which is a lot of data a day. But I hope that, but in 6 months or so, we'll be able to handle like, petabytes a week. So you're going to be in good company with these bigger providers. So when it comes to the hackathon, and if you're trying to prove that you use Filecoin, this is a CID. Jacob called it an IPFS hash from the previous presentation, but if you have one of these that you uploaded through Estuary, you can just copy and paste it in here, and you can basically prove if it's on Estuary, and you can see the size of it. So this one is 27 gigs, and then you can see which providers have it. And you can also do a retrieval using Lotus, which is the software suite that is made for using Filecoin. So this allows you to kind of verify and prove to anyone in the world that your data is backed up on Filecoin, which I think is kind of a badge of honor, knowing that your data is backed up and replicated appropriately around the world so that it can be retrieved. So yeah, this is basically how you prove it. Cool. So now that I've kind of shown those aspects off, and feel free to ask me any questions if you have any, let's go look in the Estuary repo and let's look at how broad the API is. And so we have here, if you are, if you don't see something that you like in the docs, you can actually come in here and use all of these API endpoints if you have an API key. And I think that makes things pretty interesting because you can basically take advantage of all the things that Estuary provides with one API key. So we have collections that we haven't released yet. So IPFS Collection is a new feature that I haven't written docs for yet, but that's supported as well. We have the standard API, IPFS pinning API. So if you're using IPFS node already, you can actually just move over to our hosted endpoint and it's one-to-one. So there's no changes there. And we're always adding things here. So if you're an open source contributor and, if you're an open source contributor and you want to expand what we can offer, feel free to come in and take a look at the code. It's all open source. Morgan asks, what suggestions do you have for client-side app hosting on the centralized web? I think anything that is a static site hoster, because IPFS is better with static sites because we don't need servers anymore. If you think about most authentication can be done through MetaMask, and you're kind of authenticating with blockchains, right? So, you don't really need to have a centralized auth with a centralized database. Now, you might have like a Postgres database that you host somewhere that does the mapping of data, but you don't have to treat it as something that also does authentication as well. And what we're also exploring, which is a good conversation for later, is centralized identity. But we don't have anything that we're going to prescribe just yet, but there'll be many examples coming up soon. So I guess I can zoom in a little bit more. I hope this helps. Sorry about the resolution. Cool. So I think that covers mostly Estuary and how easy it is to use. And I think what would be useful is if I show you how to kind of integrate it into your apps. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into this code that I have this little hello world example right here. And I'm going to open up this little React example. So this is like the most minimal I can get, right? Like if I just do a console log here and do hello, and I maybe change this to, hey hackers, and I inspect, this instantly refreshes, this changes, right? So I have a pretty clean slate here. And so, whatever toolkit you use, whatever fresh state you have, you can kind of just get started with something simple like this. And the Estuary documentation is really easy. So what we can do is we can go to, let's go to the introduction page again, and let's just grab this code, right? So web API endpoint. And so let's do like react.use effect, and then let's do an arrow callback function. We don't want this to update ever again. So we do like a empty array, right? So this replaces component did mount. The example coming out here, if you're using React hooks, use this, and you can have this little fetch call, right? And I don't really like that it's not using async await. So I'm gonna actually do a function. I'm gonna declare a function inside. So load. Is this really small? I'm guessing this is really small. So let me make this bigger. Can everyone see this? Cool. So then okay, now we can drop this in here and we can do like const response equals this. And then we obviously need to do like an async function, right? So we can use await. And cool. And then we're going to do like const JSON because we want that response to be formatted as, oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Cool. Right. And so we have this now. And then, we just do like a load. And then we can do like a set state spread JSON. This, do load, hit save. And then we can, instead of, let me just add this here to state, right? And then go into the app, see if that works. Response is not defined. That's because I didn't wait this. I misspelled response. Cool. And just like that, I've integrated the Estuary API into another app. It's just that simple. So you can do this with file uploading too. So instead of doing something as simple as this, let's do a file upload. So we'll go here and we'll go to docs and we'll go to upload data. And I can really just copy and paste this. So I'm going to do that right now. Cool. So I did that. This is going to break because there's no this in a function component. Then, yep. And we can check our page here. And that's also going to break as well, because that doesn't exist. And we don't need this anymore. Cool. Actually, we take this out for now. We need to write that function. Cool. So you can see a little input. Yeah. So that's simple as that. And so then from here, we need to write a function. So let's do function upload, and we'll do the event, and we'll do the set state function as well. We can do async function upload. Cool. And then we can bring back on-chain, unchange, and we can do pass the event as callback, do upload E, and then set state, which we declared above, right? And so just to do a test real quick, make sure that works. Test, click. Oh, yeah, it will work. So that's cool. And so then we'll just change this upload here, and we'll go and we'll copy and paste this XHR request, double check everything. So it changes to E because that will cause problems. Look at everything here, change this to E. Oh, did I introduce? Huh. How did that ever work? Where is the event declared? This should be this, unless I can't read. Error in the doc, yeah. Story of my life. Cool, so we'll try that out and then see what happens. We'll do it live. So do that. And then, yes, thank you. Thank you. Wow, everyone has my back this morning. Thank you so much. Let's use this API key. Teamwork makes the dreams work. Is that right? Cool. And then we're gonna test it out. Let's see if this works. Yep, it worked. Wow, nice. Teamwork makes the dreams work. That's my motto. So cool, we're doing an upload right now. So that's how easy it is with the help of your friends to upload data straight to Filecoin. So if you do this, you pretty much have basically put data onto Filecoin. And we're hoping that it's simple for everyone. I know that Filecoin's been pretty complicated if you play with the bare metal. Like I showed you in the keynote slides, if you play with the bare metal, it's this. It's a lot of stuff, and it's gonna you're gonna have to go through a lot. If you use the Estuary API, it's as simple as this to upload data, and you can see that I'm uploading a pretty large file. This one's close to, I think, many gigs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. We have 3 minutes left. If you have any questions for me, please let me know.